No matter your age, your plan for retirement can start today. From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Retirement Report.
Good morning. Welcome to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. We're going to be talking about preparedness for retirement today. In Social Security, I'm going to talk about some recent studies that I came across, one from the Economic Policy Institute, another great article out of Forbes regarding 8 signs that the retirement crisis is getting worse. This is one of the things with planning for retirement is the preparedness piece, is what types of decisions you're going to have to make, of course, as you near retirement, but also in preparing for retirement, the savings that you're doing, where that money is being saved, whether in a retirement account like a 401k, 403b, other company plan, TSP, thrift savings plan, what you're, or in just a brokerage account, just regular savings, if it's that way. If you're going to have a pension, all the different things we talk about all the time on the show about ways to prepare for retirement and gathering up those assets. And this is the typical process that I use with clients, new clients coming in, and of course with my existing clients. One of the things we do is we look at all of where you're at right now. In other words, what do you have for income? What do you have for expenses? What do you have for assets, liabilities? We gather all that information together to get a snapshot of where you're at financially today, and then we do projections based on that income and how that income may change. So when you go from wages to Social Security, possibly a pension, if you have rental income, whatever your resources are, we gather that together, we plug that in, we do a projection then to see how that income is going to change over the years, and we factor in things like cost of living adjustments. We factor in, of course, for taxes that's coming out of that income. We factor in for inflation, how your expenses are going to go up. We look at your rate of return on your investments and what potential risks there might be in your investment portfolios and how to minimize that. All of this is put together so that we can see what your financial futures will look like or will be based on things you're doing today, and then how we can improve upon that. All right? So that's the typical type of planning. And when we look at these statistics, we see that how important this can be and how, unfortunately, how ill-prepared many retirees are, okay, and those leading into retirement. For instance, and this is one of the things from the study, 68%, almost 7 out of 10 individuals ages 55 to 64 have less than 1 year's annual income saved. So if they make for a couple, if you're making $100,000 a year, you have less than according to this, 7 out of 10 have less than $100,000 saved for retirement. And in this situation, they're within 5 to 10 years of retirement. So it's right on them, and that's not going to be enough. If you think about your income, this is one of those questions that I hear a lot from new people coming in, is how much money do I need to be able to retire and be able to maintain my current standard of living, and maybe add in, of course, some fun money, some things for that I'm more leisure activities now that I'm going to have more time in retirement. So what does that look like? And of course, it's for each individual, it's going to be somewhat different. That's why when we talk about financial freedom in retirement, what that means is going to be different, all right, according to your situation. So financial freedom, by definition, is that ability to be able to maintain your current standard of living, quality of life, to be able to add in some discretionary spending, some fun money, as we say, and to do that without worry that you're going to run out of money. That's financial freedom, right? This is the ability to do the things you want to do, right? Not have to worry about what's going on in the market or anything else taking that away from you, right? So when we went through this volatility this year and we had that big drop, or when in the last 2 bear markets, when we saw our retirement account shrink by half and take 5 to 7 years to recover, okay, that's the market. Now, if you had properly allocated your portfolio, okay, if you understood the principle that we talk about here and applied those, the good news is, yes, you would have still lost money in those bear markets, but not nearly as much, and you would have recovered in half the time. That's how those portfolios performed. So you look at your own situation and gauge, how did you do in those periods? How did you do this year when the market dropped 34% from about mid-February to a little about March 23rd, I think, is when it bottomed out? How did your portfolio do during that period? And has it fully recovered since that time? Okay, so we're seeing the market, for instance, the S&P is now above what it was at the beginning of the year. Still, I think a little below the actual peak in February, but we're in very good shape compared to what things looked like just a couple of months ago, or a few months ago. So one of the things that, when it comes to your own planning, how does your portfolio look? When was the last time you took an honest assessment of it, an analysis, to see what type of risk is there, and also to make sure that you're getting the needed rate of return to accomplish your financial goals? Of course, the biggest one of those, to supplement the income from Social Security, pension, whatever other things you may have in retirement. Maybe it's just Social Security, and you're going to be leaning more heavily on that. Because Social Security, according, again, in this study and with what Social Security system talks about, Social Security, for most people, is going to only be about 40% at best of what they're going to need to live on. Okay, so it's not something we want to be overly dependent on with regard to covering our entire lifestyle. And of course, the more money you make, the less that percentage might be in terms of what it represents as far as replacing your earnings when you retire. So then, how much have you saved, and how much are you going to be able to draw down for retirement income? And do you have any other guaranteed retirement accounts? All right, these guaranteed retirement accounts are one way that you can put a floor, put a safety net, if you will, there for your income. So Social Security, for instance, is a form of a guaranteed retirement account. We're going to get that guarantee throughout our lifetime. Pensions might fit, would in fact fit in that same category. Some people will have annuities. In fact, teachers and nonprofits have had TSAs, tax sheltered annuities, for decades. And this is a way, again, that they can get income guaranteed for life. Some retirement accounts, all right, TSP is an example, thrift savings plan. Some may have guarantees built in where you can get a guaranteed income for life as a part of your retirement savings. So if you're not sure about this and you want to get some help with it, just give us a call. So on this guaranteed retirement accounts, if you'd like to learn more about those, how it might apply according to your company plan, or how you can incorporate it in, call us at 615-376-5325. As a part of a complete comprehensive financial plan, and its retirement income analysis would include, do you have guaranteed retirement accounts available other than just Social Security? And as I say, if you have a pension, are there ways that you can build that into your 401k, TSP plan, other retirement accounts, IRAs for that matter, SEP IRAs, any of those can be used for this purpose to give you a guaranteed income, guaranteed for life. For a couple, this can be joint lives, so if one predeceases the other, the survivor would still get this income throughout their lifetime. So if you want to find out more about it, there's the number, 615-376-5325. Give us a call, and we'll do a complete comprehensive plan. We'll gather all the things I've been talking about and help you find out what you need for your income needs in retirement to make sure you're able to attain and maintain your standard of living, quality of life, no matter how long you live. Never have to worry about running out of money. Have that fun money to enjoy life, right? All the good things that we want to have, we can help you with that. So there it is again. And when you come in to see me, by the way, when you call, we've got, we'll get your information, send you out a packet of things to bring to your appointment with me. If you would like to do, if you're concerned about, coming into the office, we keep everything, all according to the guidelines, and very, very sterile between meetings. We wipe everything down, and it's a very large conference room, so there's plenty of room for distancing. So lots of ways that we can keep you safe, but if you're more comfortable, we can also do it over the phone. So 615-376-5325. When you call, we'll gather your information, send you out a checklist of things to bring to your appointment with me, and when you come in to see me, I will give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement, in which we deal with a lot of the different strategies that I talk about here on the show each week. All right. We're We're going to talk about, one, I want to share a little bit more with you, in particular now with the Jobs Act, or excuse me, with the jobs numbers that just came out today, and that looked positive, that, you know, we're moving in the right direction. But one of the things that was kind of interesting is that older workers are having trouble with as far as unemployment goes. So those that have lost their job, it takes them longer, according to this study. It's longer for them to replace those jobs, and they have, because they have inadequate retirement accounts, 8.5 million middle-class older workers and their spouses, people who earn over twice the official poverty line, will be downwardly mobile. In other words, falling into poverty or near poverty in the old age if they retire. This is a key one. If they retire at age 62. That's about 40% of people of that population. So one of the things about retiring early that you have to be careful of is making sure you have sufficient resources. This is why we do the kind of planning that I do, is because I can show you what, if you retired at 62, if you would run out of money. And then we can pick a day, you know, an age at which you would be able to retire. And it may be 62. Heck, I've got some clients that are, you know, in their 50s that have retired because they've got sufficient resources that match up with their lifestyle that it would work for them. But there are, you know, we still do a lot of planning around healthcare costs and other things to make sure that they're going to be okay, so we don't miss anything. Last thing you want to do is think I'm okay to retire, right? Or you get really burnt out and you just say, I just got to get out of here, right? And you maybe make a bad decision. And 10 years later, you realize the error of your ways, and it's like too late to really do as much about it as had you had a different choice up front. And so what we do is help you see, if you retire at 62, are you going to be okay? Are you going to not run out of money? For many, retiring at 62, and again, according to this study, would not work. That puts them at higher risk. So understanding what you're dealing with there. And by the way, one of the things they also talk about in the study was interesting, is that challenges for women are even greater. It said that women are 80% more likely than men to be impoverished at 65 or older. And you know, I've got a lot of clients that have been very concerned about running out. And I will say that for women, it's even more of a concern in terms of what they present to me in these meetings than men, over that concern about running out of money in retirement, or running out of money and having, you know, being impoverished and not having anything in later in life. We're going to talk about ways to avoid that kind of stuff, right? How to, in fact, make sure that you're able to maintain your standard of living, quality of life, and be able to thrive in retirement, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today and more. Join us here. First, a break. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.